What? I'm really confused. Hi, I'm doing good, Gabriel. Hi, Anaya. All right, guys. So today is National Free Trade Day. Hi, Braxton. What does free trade mean to you? Hi, Daniel. You need to no. You're gonna do it through Adobe, Eric. Hi, Naisa. We're gonna load in Adobe through Clever. This is how we're gonna do it. And I'm gonna show you. So, can you guys tell me what is free trade? Anybody have an idea of that, what that means? We have talked about it a few different times in a couple of different regions that, we've looked at. Hello, Julio. Hi, McKean. Can anybody tell me? International trade left its natural course without restrictions. Okay. No restrictions on imports or exports. Okay. So there are areas of relative free trade, right? What areas have that? No, Eric, we're not talking about smuggling because we're not going to talk about illegal things. What areas have what we would consider free trade? Can anybody tell me? Kind of waiting for somebody to type it in. Yeah, it's between nations. So, what areas? Think about this. We've talked about them. Think about what areas that have those reduced barriers to imports and exports, right? So you're right, Taj. But so now, what areas have those? We've talked about them. I'll give you a hint. It's one that Britain left. Anybody tell me? Yes, no. Come on, guys. So nobody has them. All right, guys. Yeah. What is the one that Great Britain left? Okay, Eric. European Union. We've talked about this repeatedly. The European Union started out as an economic union that, like, basically got rid of trade barriers amongst the member nations. There's the ASEAN, which is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. That is also a free trade style union. We have one in our continent, right? Which is the USMCA. US, Mexico, Canada. There's CARICOM, which is in the Caribbean. So any of those would be free trades. Like when we talk about free trade unions, those would be the ones amongst the member nations. All right, guys, if you have not already done so, I show an awful lot of you guys that have not completed your course arcs. And that is 88 points right there, guys. So I need in the chat, I need you to type done or not done in the chat right now. So not done. All right, so this is due on Wednesday. Your presentation is due on Wednesday. So you will have some time today in class to finish up your course arc, and then you need to create your presentation. What I would like for you guys to do, and I'm going to show you this. Now, obviously, mine looks a little bit different than yours because mine is, Emily, I'm talking about it right now. Mine is going to look a little bit different. No, Brendan, you don't. You're turning it into me. You're talking in your presentation. In fact, you're speaking over it. In your Clever, up in the search, I want you guys to type in Adobe. Okay. And you see where it says Adobe Express? It's a single sign-on. It's basically using your sign-on from Clever to sign into Adobe. Are you with me so far? If you guys are with me, give me like a thumbs up. You're with me so far. All right, so you click on this, right? Okay. And it takes you to this. Okay. So let's go ahead and everybody sign into Adobe, okay? We're going to go through our Clever. We're going to type Adobe in this section right here so that it takes us to this page where it says create a new project. Okay, let me know when you guys are ready for me to click on the next link. Okay, is everybody in Adobe now? Okay, Taj is, Sabrina. Okay, Samuel is. Okay, Angeline. Okay, all right. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. You can change things. You can trim a video, convert it to an MP4, all different things that are all part of all of this stuff. What you guys are going to be looking at is the create a presentation. So you're going to click on create a presentation. And literally, as you go through here, it is going to take you step by step. So obviously, you're not typing this. I'm just going to say there we go. Yeah? Okay. Now, we can do a short cover. We can add a photo. We can split the layout. Anything that you want to do here, you can do. So, Okay, let's do global. I'm just randomly picking things, guys, to go along with this. We'll do that picture. Okay, are you kind of with me so far? And you can change things up, replace, delete, whatever you want to do. I can't do anything about that, Adriel. Yes. So now you can add in text, pictures, videos. You can do a photo grid where you do a bunch of different pictures. Because remember, we're doing 4 countries, right? So you could do any of those if you wanted to throw it in there. You can do a glide show. This is, you pick some, it's like a slideshow, but it glides through. That's their name for it. You can upload a photo that you have picked for your countries, or you can pick one of their stock photos. I'm just randomly picking things, okay? And then up here, I can say save. There we go. And now I can start adding things in here like text or video. Are you with me? So as you're going through this, it gives you pop-ups as you're going that you can add things in. Okay, so let's go back to the actual course arc. So we can go to the page. Hang on, let me go back. Right here you have a link. Okay, this literally takes you to a page that shows you everything you can do with your Adobe Spark. How to choose your template, how to add more to it, etc. Okay. When you click on the blue hyperlink, it gives you this pop-up. You click on the smaller one, okay? And that's going to take you through. I would strongly suggest you have that open just so that you have something you can go back and forth with. And then let me play Miss Bailey's video again for you. I know I played it in the beginning. Let me play it again. Okay, because it's going to give you just a quick little overview of what we're looking for. Okay.
Hello everyone, Megan Cox here. Today we will be exploring the iOS version of Adobe Spark Video. This is a creation-based app that allows you to create multimedia slides that publish as a video. Once logged in to Adobe Spark Video, you will come to a screen that allows you to choose from inspiration videos, which are pre-created videos, the plus sign to create your own video, or a tab for My Videos where all of your work will be stored. Once you hit the plus sign, you will get an option to create a title. You can skip this if you want a blank canvas. After that, it gives you a choice of a bunch of different outlines or templates based off of an idea. So for instance, you can, if you are promoting an idea, you can choose this template. If you were just going to tell something that happened, this is a template with pre-existing prompts. You can see there are several to choose from.
So the one I picked was start from scratch. You can also do the choose a template. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you choose.
You can also just start from scratch and have a blank canvas. Once here, you are given blank slides. On each slide, you can see that you can add video, text, photos, and icons. Videos will come straight from your camera roll and are things that you have recorded with your iPad. Text boxes are any text that you would like to type. And you can also see the ability to record by pressing down this red microphone. Now you will notice across the top you also have three options: layout, theme, and music. If you click on layout, there are just different slide layouts that you can choose from, and it will format your video for you. Themes give you different backgrounds and fonts to choose from. Again, once you tap one, it will apply it to your slides. Notice all of my slides at the bottom have changed now. Music is connected to the type of theme you choose. There are a bunch of pre-recorded songs that will play as background music in your videos for you to choose from, or if you would like, you can simply hit the trash can to delete it. If you would like to hear it, you just simply hear that play button. To see if that music matches your theme or your topic. You can see I still have some plus signs on my slide, so if I wanted to add more information, I could. This specific layout that I chose add a title and text, so it's like a subtitle here, so that's what it's prompted me for. This plus sign is letting me choose any other media that I want to add. Down at the bottom, I can tap my next slide when I'm ready to create. Again, it's given me some layouts to choose from based off of that prompt. If I would have chosen a different prompt, it would have given me different options. I'm actually going to go hit my home button and back out. You can see my work is still in progress. This time when I create my story, I'm going to choose a hero's journey. I get the same white canvas, but notice it has given me prompts on each slide. So the beginning one says to set up your story, and then it gives more details. Tell us about the hero and their world before the quest begins. You can see each slide has a different prompt based off of the topic that I chose. You don't have to follow those exactly, of course. However, they are good layouts if your story matches. A couple other things to note: if you tap on a slide, you can delete it, duplicate it, or preview your video. You can also notice how many seconds are set here. And as I mentioned before, when you add media, you have a few different options. So I just want to show these to you. When you click photo, it gives you some option. Find photos is going to let you search the web and choose photos that are licensed for reuse. This is my hero I'm going to choose. There are some other options for you here. I just want to make note about a few that confuse people. Google is not actually a Google image search. It is your Google Photos, so that syncs with your Google account the same way Facebook or Dropbox would. And of course, Take a Picture will allow you to take one with your iPad, and on my iPad are pre-existing photos. Those are the three you will probably use the most. Icon is another great one. See if we can find an icon for hero. There we go. There are a bunch of pre-existing icons as well that you can add into your slide, which is really nice. Once finished with your video, you will notice in the top right-hand corner this universal iPad share button. Once you have completed your video, you will simply click Save to Camera Roll. It will publish your video and save it to your iPad so that you can submit it on your choice of platform.
Thank you for watching this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us by clicking on the links below.
So obviously, I mean, if you have an iPad, you can use an iPad. If you have your Chromebook, you can use your Chromebook, okay? But that is what you're doing. What information are you putting into your slides? the information that you have spent the last few days researching and putting into the course arc. So you have to complete your course arc. That is 88 points. It's a summative grade. You've got to get that done. Then you need to take that information from your course arc and create a really cool presentation where you talk about how these countries are connected. And remember, you can choose, it could be trade, it could be economics, it could be religion, another form of culture, maybe language, style of dress. You are going to decide what the connection is between them. Let me go back to this page so we can review the questions. All right, so these were the ones that you are like, this is what you're putting in the course arc, right? What is the history of the country? Some information about conflict, culture, government, and change over time. What does each, and this is for each one of them, right? What does the country have as far as economic activities go? How do they make their money? What are their major industries? What are their major imports and exports? Who are their major trading partners? You know, maybe you picked countries that are major fishing countries. Maybe that's the connection you made between your four. I don't know. You're going to tell me. And then what are some major current events going on in each of the countries? If there anything big going on in that country. Then we have our critical thinking. So how is each of the four countries you have chosen connected? Are they connected by government systems, by migration? We're talking people or ideas, by culture, by economics, or some other way. You're going to explain and give examples how your countries are connected. How is each of these countries connected to the United States? So once you have figured out how those four countries are connected, then you're going to tell us how are they connected to us, to the United States. And your Adobe Spark slideshow presentation is going to have your research and explanation of the global connections. It does not have to be word for word what you put in the course arc. In fact, I don't want it to be word for word what you put in the course arc, because it's a 1 to 3 minute, no less than 1, no more than 3 minute presentation that's going to have information, visuals, as well as your recorded voice to help with clarification of the connections. Yeah, exactly. So the idea is you can use like bullet points or blurbs, maybe some key words that kind of go with the pictures you have, and then your voiceover gives us what that actual connection is. You could be talking about, well, obviously you wouldn't be talking about India because it wasn't the one of the choices you had, but maybe your background is different pictures from India. And maybe one picture is of the caste system and another picture is of cows. And maybe you have some Sanskrit or Buddha in there, or one of the Hindu gods. Because obviously we know Buddhism comes from India. It's where it began, because Siddhartha Gautama was a Hindu prince that became known as Buddha, right? So maybe you have those in there, and maybe you have a little blurb by each of the pictures. And because maybe you want to use religion, I don't know, as your connection, and maybe you're going to use Buddhism, the spread of Buddhism. So maybe, you talk about how, religion is important in India and how Buddhism began with Siddhartha Gautama, the Hindu prince who then became known as Buddha. And Buddhism spread through trade networks around the world. Okay? Because Buddhism does seek followers. And then you go into your next country. Well, we did India for, Asia. So then maybe you talk about Buddhism in, I don't know, Australia, since it's not one of the ones you can choose. And you can show pictures of Australia, and then maybe you could show some Buddhist temples in Australia and talk about Buddhism and how it moved to Australia, etc. And maybe it moved because of the migration of people, etc. And so you would have pictures that would have little blurbs, and your voice would explain those. And then by the end, you would talk about how all 4 of those countries, as you've been talking about how they're connected going along, and at the very end, you would talk about how they're all connected to the United States. Okay? And I thought there was a video at the beginning. It might be at the intro. Give me a moment. All right, so I believe this is the one that one of the teachers made, just as a quick little blurb.
Module 10, Global Connections. How are different countries connected to each other? Not exactly like this. Hopefully yours will be better. And you will get the chance to record your own voice, just like a radio announcer. The economy. Various cultures. Their shared histories. Conflict. And change over time. It's gonna take a lot of work, but I know that you can do it.
All right, so that was 1:39. So definitely over the minute mark, but less than the 3-minute mark. If you noticed, Miss Ritchie didn't have a ton of words, but she still got the point across, right, of what you were supposed to be doing. And you notice it just kind of moved as it went. That's what you guys are going to be doing. So obviously, the first thing that everybody has got to get done is their course arc. Because when I started, no, it doesn't have to be talking the entire way through. It should be like when you're maybe making the connections for us, like for me, maybe you have some words popping up and then you tie it together with your voice, Taj. And you can maybe do that for each country, right? Like, here's this country, here's this country. Yeah, here's this country, here's this country. Here's how all of these countries are connected. And then here's how those countries are connected to the US. You could use the music in Adobe. You could, you know what I mean? It's basically we're taking like a slideshow and a video where you are actually talking and we're like mashing them together in one presentation. But again, first thing is first, you have got to get the course arc done. Here's the issue is because students are not finishing them, it's trying to put grades in and it's tanking your grades right now. Because I'm like, oh, I'll just grade the Europe ones. And then it's like, well, where's all the rest? And it's trying to put grades in there. So until you guys get it done, when I go to start grading, see where we're going with this? So you've got to, the course arc and the presentation are obviously, they're both due by the 10th, which is Wednesday, which means all the rest of today. You'll have tomorrow to work on it and some time on Wednesday as well. I do need to remind you that all of the Module 9 course arcs and journals and the Module 9 quiz are going to close this Friday, the 12th. So, you have all of those journals, which are summatives, and you have the Module 9 quiz, which is a summative. And if you turned in a quiz at a 50%, or I had to give you a minimum F, you have 3 chances on your quizzes. Go back and redo it, please. Don't just take the minimum F, because that doesn't help you any. An F is an F is an F. It's a failing grade, okay? I need to also remind you guys that tomorrow is attendance and our small group meet in the afternoon from 12:30 to 2:30 at MBLA Rather SSG. Yes, I will remind you guys. There'll be a remind text. Yes, there will be an announcement on our homepage. Okay. Yes, Samuel, I was just about to remind you and Brendan that you guys need to do your weekly attendance, please. So if you guys would quickly do that so that you're covered, that would be awesome. So you don't forget. All right. So at this point, everybody should be working on their course arc if it is not completed. If it is completed, you need to start playing around in the Adobe. Okay? But obviously your course arc needs to be completed first, because that's your research that you are going to use to create this awesome presentation in Adobe. That's okay, you're back. Okay. Any questions? Now is your time to ask. How did you cut it in half, Eric? Because of all of the words that you had in there? Is that what you mean? Okay. Did you keep it between the 1 minute and the 3 minute mark? Well, you should be able to tell, like when we're looking at the one that Miss Ritchie made, remember when it shows like this is 1:39? You should be able to see that on the bottom of your presentation. And then I went back through and I refreshed the submission page for the project. So you might need to refresh your Canvas page, Eric, just to make sure, and maybe somewhere between those two, maybe your Adobe will submit this time. All right, guys. So I am going to stop the recording. Would you like, oh, I know. We'll do the poll for this instead, like before.